good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within.
Hi, what can I get started for you?
Hi, I had a mobile order for Jennifer.
Perfect, we're working on your full through now.
Thank you. Good morning. Unfortunately, I'm traveling again this week for work. It is Monday morning. I've been up since 5:30 and I have been so busy. It's now almost 9 a.m. and I'm headed to the airport. So I had, I feel like I did have a productive weekend, but it was also a busy weekend. There was a lot more that I wanted to get done, like always. But we had 2 soccer games this weekend for Connor, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and they were both out of town. One was like an hour away, so you know that eats up like a lot of your day. My birthday was also this weekend, so last night Adam made dinner reservations and we went out for dinner. And so I just didn't get as much done as I thought I was gonna get done, but I did film a lot of what I did. I did meal prep and stuff like that. I really need to look back at that footage and see if I can get anything good out of it, which is questionable at this point. The reason why I got up so early this morning is because I did not pack this weekend, and so I had to get up early and pack, but I had all my laundry done. I have become extremely efficient and fast at packing my suitcase and everything that I need. It is very, very rare that I forget anything. Although one time, not too long ago, I went on a trip and forgot to pack bras. That's bad. That's bad, especially for me. Some girlies can get away without a bra. I'm not one of them. Anywho, the reason why I woke up so early this morning is because I had still about 13 planner orders to pack, I think.
Jennifer,
hi, how are you? No, I don't need one.
Okay. Have a great Monday.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
I had about 13 planner orders to pack, and I try, what is this person doing? Girl's driving over the curb. I've tried really hard to be able to predict like which covers of the meal planner are the most popular. And like, I do know which couple of them are the most popular, but it always seems like when I make a bunch of those, then everyone orders the other ones. You know how that goes. So I spent like an hour and 45 minutes finishing, binding those and packing them all up and putting them in the boxes. So I believe my plane, it's 9 o'clock right now. I believe my plane board's at 10:05. It takes me about 40 minutes to get to the airport. And so I'm just gonna stop and drop off those packages now so you guys can get them this week. I do need to, at some point today, put a banner on the top of my shop that if you order between like now and Friday, then they will ship out Saturday. I do try to make the packaging cute, both inside and outside, because I'm a nerd like that.
And I breathe. One touch feels skinny.
Have you guys tried this new orange cream cold brew at Starbucks? It's so freaking good. I love a good orange flavor. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you guys thank you so much for all of your comments, your super like thoughtful and kind and encouraging comments on my last video where I talked about thinking about quitting my job. I do really feel, I know that I would be successful like on my own, running my own business, because I've been successful doing it with a full-time job, and I feel like I would only have more time to invest in it and do that. but I still haven't fully decided yet. I think my biggest fear is really, like, for example, if I do that and then I decide at some point that I want to, you know, go back to full-time unemployment, you know, the recruiters, well, first of all, the job market is completely shit right now. I actually last year, well, like late last year and then like early this year, I was actually looking for different jobs and I applied at so many different places. I am convinced that a lot of the job postings are fake. However, I did get interviews with like four different places. There were two that just like ghosted me during the whole like application interview process. No, one. And then 3 different places I did end up having like multiple interviews with. I just think the market is so rough right now. I don't know if it's just like an oversaturation of applicants. I personally, maybe I'm just a shitty interviewer. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I didn't get any feedback on my interviews. I feel like my resume, however, is like very solid, right? Like I have a master's degree, 20 plus years of experience. But then, you know, there's the thing too. It's like, well, if they hire someone more experienced, they typically have to pay you more money. But if they hire a new grad, they can pay you less money. So I don't know. I'm at the airport. You know what I was just thinking as I was driving here? I was like, you know what's really pissing me off? You know what grinds my gears? You know what's really pissing me off right now is this whole tradwife trend on TikTok. Specifically the ones that are like, you know, like this lady will film herself and it's like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and she's at Target with her kids or at the playground or wherever. And she's like, this is my life because I didn't marry a loser. It's like, first of all, just because you have a household with 2 working people, I would say that like neither of you are losers then. Well, I mean, I guess you could be, but that's not the point of this. Like the implication that if your spouse does not make enough money to support you both so that you can stay home means you married a loser is such a weird fucking concept to me. Like, first of all, if you get married young, which like I got married fairly young. I got married when I was 23, but I was out of college by the time I got married. But anyway, if you get married when you're young, there's a high probability that you will marry a loser, right? Because like your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed yet. And also it is not often apparent until you have children with a man if he is indeed a loser, right? Because like there's lots of women who marry fine dudes, but then those dudes become useless and or terrible when you have children with them. And then it's like, well, what do you think about those women? You know, like as if it's like a moral failing to marry someone that you weren't aware they were a loser when you got married. I don't know. Anyway, I hate it. It's stupid. I always say that I am one of like the lucky ones that did get married young, and turns out I'm like married to a great guy. But I know a lot of people in my life who got married young, because like even, you know, this year I'll have been married 20 years. A lot of the people that Adam and I went to school with that got married around the same time as we did are now divorced because of various reasons, you know. But like I do think that being married for a long time requires you to have to like change over and over again, like with that person, because rarely are you the same person. You know, I'm not the same person as I was when I first started dating Adam when I was, how old was I when we first started dating? 18. So yeah, I don't know. My plane board's in 28 minutes. It's gonna take me about 5 minutes to walk into the airport, 5 minutes to get through security. Back to the whole job thing. One of the things that I'm like have experience in is specifically implementing virtual reality training programs in healthcare, which arguably is like a niche subset of nursing, right? Like I don't just do that. I do other things too. But several of the companies that I applied with were specifically looking for nurses that had expertise implementing VR. And so I was like, oh, I'm a shoo-in for this, right? And I do always think everything happens for a reason. Like, I don't necessarily believe in God, but I do feel like everything typically works out the way it's supposed to. And so I feel like there's probably some reason that I don't know about that I didn't get a job at one or both of those companies. But one of the people that interviewed me, she was kind of a little bit combative in the interview, which I thought was interesting. And she almost acted like my longevity with my current employer was some type of a liability. Now, liability is probably not the right word, but like, she's like, okay, we're a okay, so like these companies that are like startups, which like both of these companies have been going for like 5 to 10 years, so they're not brand new, but they're still considered startups. But she's like, we're a startup company. We have to be agile. We have to be able to act quickly. We have to be creative. We have to do this. And I'm like, yes, those are all things that I do. And she's like, well, how do you, some like ridiculous question about like, how do you handle change? And like, I don't think that's a particularly good interview question, because like, that's very ambiguous, right? Like, I guess I would prefer to answer a question about a specific situation. But I answered the question, and then it was like, the vibe was like, well, you've had longevity with this company that's like established, and so you won't be able to come work for us and be agile and creative, and we're a startup and blah, blah, blah. And what I really wanted to say, is like, every single organization, which like, you know this, right? Every single organization practically is held together by duct tape and spreadsheets, okay? That's it. Like, no place like truly has it all together. And like, honestly, like when you're working in these environments, like the only constant is change, right? Like you're completely having to change all the time. In fact, I'm a certified change practitioner through ProSci. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I should have said that. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, let's go into the airport. Oh, one other thing. I had totally planned to do my hair and makeup this morning before I left, and I ran out of time because I was packing up planners, which is why I did not straighten my hair or put on makeup, and why I'm wearing a ball cap. But I do have a very long layover at O'Hare, and so I think I'll just do my hair and makeup there. Not that it really matters. I mean, I'm not like trying to impress anybody today. Also, O'Hare, I think O'Hare and Charlotte are probably my least two favorite airports to have layovers at. Charlotte, because everything is so spread out. I'm always like landing at E gates, having to go to A gates. None of the moving walkways work in Charlotte. None of them, okay? So you got like 20 minutes. I missed like 2 flights there because of that. Although I will say that I do think Charlotte has better restaurants. O'Hare, fairly easy to get from like one gate to another. It doesn't take a super long time. There's no good restaurants in O'Hare. I shouldn't say there's no good restaurants. There's very few good restaurants, and they're always super crowded. However, one of my flights is on American today, and I do have access to the American lounge, so perhaps I'll just do that. I would say, I think DFW, probably DFW, Denver, and even Atlanta are probably my top favorite to have layovers at. Anyway, let's go. Hello. Okay, I am in St. Louis this week for work. I'm staying like in the downtown area, like I'm right across from Busch Stadium. I'll show you here in a second. Anyway, here's the view from my room. I'm like right across from Busch Stadium, obviously. This hotel I've actually stayed in, I think 2 or 3 times before. This is probably my 3rd or 4th time here. I don't think I've ever stayed here for work specifically, but Adam is a Cardinals fan. He's also a Royals fan. And so we've been down, St. Louis is like a 4-hour drive from our house. And so we've been to St. Louis several times, like with our family. In fact, we came here like last summer, I think. We did our family vacation here and we took the kids and went up in the arch and all that. So there's like 2 coworkers here with me this week and they're like, have you gone up in the arch? Do you want to do that? And I'm like, no, I've done that. Like I did it once when I was a kid and once when I was an adult, and it's like, that's enough. I don't need to do it anymore, but have fun. So I've stayed in this hotel a couple of times. It's very nice. The desk setup, which, okay, like I'm a professional traveler at this point. I typically check the desk setup because I know I'm gonna wanna work, not just work on work stuff, but like work on YouTube stuff. When I get back from work in my hotel room at night. The desk setup in this hotel room is abysmal. I have this like little I mean, this is a cuck chair, let's be honest, with this tiny little table. And so I'm working on editing this video right now. Typically, I do try to get 2 queen beds if I can when I book a room, because like I don't need to sleep in a king size bed. And then I just use the other bed for like clothes, whatever I want to throw on there. I'm trying to figure out the lighting in here and it's like, it's awful. So I apologize for that. So let me catch you up. So today is, what the fuck is today? Today's Tuesday. Okay, I got here like not late last night, but I think I got to my room around like 7 p.m. or something like that, which I was like, already dead because I've been traveling all day. I had a super long layover and then I ended up checking in and then I did not film at all last night because I basically ordered food and then I went to bed at 9 p.m. because I knew I had to get up early this morning. But I did order, I think the place is barbecue last night for dinner. Salt and Smoke. Adam and I have gone there several times when we've been down here in St. Louis. It's very good barbecue. So I got that for dinner last night and then I literally went to bed at like 9 p.m. The problem is that even though I went to bed at 9 p.m., I never sleep as well in a hotel room as I do at home. Like at home, I don't have a problem. Like I can like go to bed, sleep the whole night, unless Milo wakes me up to go to the bathroom, which he does every once in a while. I don't think, he's not old. Like he doesn't need to go out in the middle of the night. I feel like sometimes he just gets hot and wants to go outside. I don't know. But anyway, last night I woke up at like 1 in the morning and then from like 1 to 5:30. Do you know when you're like not asleep but not awake? You're just like kind of laying there like drifting in and out of sleeplessness. That's how I was last night. So today after work, my coworkers are like, are we doing dinner tonight? I'm like, you guys can do dinner. I don't know what you guys want to do, but I'm going back to my room. Also, we had like 5 sessions today and I facilitated 3 of them. So I was like very all peopled out. I consider myself an extrovert and still like if there's like a lot of peopling I'm doing all day, and especially if like this week we're here to do like sort of like a cultural assessment, consultation, some education type stuff. Like if there's like a lot of like heavy stuff that we're hearing from the staff, which is basically what happened today, I'm done by the end of the day. So probably maybe we'll go out for dinner tomorrow night. That's my plan. I'm working on editing this video right now. I do have like a sponsored video, like just the integration portion, just the sponsorship portion that I have to turn in by tomorrow. So I'll probably do that tomorrow after work. And yeah, like today was kind of, I don't know. It was just a heavy day. Like I had several presentations that I had to do. And I just think like being on stage for like a 90-minute presentation like multiple times throughout the day is just like emotionally taxing. And then like part of what we're looking at this week is like survey scores. So the big thing in healthcare, not the big thing, but one of the big things in healthcare is patient experience scores. Like you guys who are nurses know that like HCAHPS is a big thing. And part of what I do is visit hospitals that need to improve their HCAHPS scores. And most of the time it's like it's very simple things. So like part of it is like, do the nurses have everything that they need to take care of patients? Like, do you feel like you have everything you need to do your job? And if the answer is no, then employee experience and patient experience are going to suffer because of that. So that's what I did today, and super fun times. So I still do need to order dinner, and I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna order from Uber Eats. One of the things I feel like with like ordering food, especially from Uber Eats, is like there's so much choice. Like that is the one thing I feel like in America is super overwhelming, is just like okay, here's an example. Go to the deodorant aisle in Walmart or wherever you shop. There's like 700 different types of deodorant, okay? It's very overwhelming. There's too much choice. So what do I want to order for dinner tonight? I don't know. Like part of me is like, oh, I want to try something local. And then part of me is like, oh, well, Chipotle sounds really good. So I don't know. I'm gonna log into my my Uber Eats app, and we'll see what we can find. Okay, so I just ended up ordering sushi and edamame because I was overwhelmed. And there was a place called Drunken Fish, which was highly rated. So that will be here in, I don't know, 20-ish minutes. So after I grab that, I'll share it with y'all. Okay, so here is the Drunken Fish roll. Buy one, get one free. I got like too much food because I always search Uber Eats for like buy one, get one free deals, and then I can take it for lunch tomorrow. I also got edamame, which is my favorite. And then I got a Starburst roll, which is also buy one, get one free. So I'm gonna eat this. Well, I'm not gonna eat it all. I'm gonna eat until I'm full, and then I'll put the rest in the fridge. Good evening. It is the following day. I had another very exhausting, emotionally taxing day at work, and so here I am yet again after work in my hotel room. It is now 5:25 p.m. and I'm not going out for dinner tonight. I am going to stay here and catch up on some of my YouTube work and actual work, but I want to get this video out tonight, so I have some content for you guys on my channel. I did look back through all of the video footage that I got this weekend of meal prepping, and I feel like it's incomplete. So one of the things that I did this weekend was my sister is a gardener. I am not a gardener. And so she has shared a lot of like fresh produce with me. And one of the things that she gave me last weekend was a bunch of tomatillos. And she's like, I will give these to you if you make something with them and then share it with me. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, obviously I can do that. So I ended up making this slow cooker pork and tomatillo chili with hominy. It was actually very good, but I literally it was like in the slow cooker until like 10 p.m. on Sunday night. And so I didn't get any shots of like the finished dish and stuff like that. I did freeze most of it. I packed a couple of portions for Adam to eat for lunch this week. But when I get back home, I'm gonna like defrost a little bit of that so that I can get like a finished shot and like type up the recipe and stuff like that. Soccer season has started, and so now until whenever fall, like, well, almost winter at this point, my weekends are going to be consumed with that. Actually, this coming weekend, so I fly home on Friday. I think I get home at like 5:45 p.m. or something like that. And then Saturday and Sunday we have a soccer tournament, and every time we have like a home tournament, we have to volunteer for, you know, different positions. And they sent the thing out yesterday, and I was like, what am I gonna volunteer for? Like, I've done different things like field marshal, I don't even actually know what a field marshal is supposed to do, but all of those spots were filled. And then there was one spot for like driving golf carts. And I was like, oh, I can do that. Like I can like haul people from like the parking lot to the field. That's fine. I can do that. So that's what I signed up for. And I think Connor is going to have 2 games on Saturday. And then depending on how they play and if they win, then that will dictate like his Sunday schedule. I'm also traveling next week for work, and so I'm a little bit concerned like what I'm actually going to be able to get done this weekend, like content wise. The reason why I have been able to be so prolific with YouTube in the last like 3 weeks before this is because I was home. I was home for like 3 weeks in a row, which was very helpful for me. It was also like a much needed reset. Oh, by the way, do you see this thing? This thing? Hold on, this lighting is terrible. You see this like scar? Well, it's not a scar yet. It's still healing on my arm right here. Okay, that is from an iron, like a clothes iron. So Connor is like always very like conscious about like his clothes, his hair. He gets like regular haircuts. He spends like hours doing his hair. He has like certain clothes that he wants to wear. He was like doing something a couple weeks ago and he was like, can you iron one of my t-shirts? And so I was like, yeah. So I'm ironing his t-shirt, and then Kira like comes up to the laundry. I was zoning out just ironing. She comes up to the laundry room and she's like, Mom. And so like I was ironing and I like pulled the iron up and it like literally just like grazed my arm, like barely, and burned me. So now I'm probably gonna have a scar there from ironing a t-shirt of my son's. But anyway, yeah. So right now I am working on finishing this video. I'm gonna get that out for you guys tonight, and then I'm also going to work on some other like admin YouTube-y stuff that I need to do. That is one of the things that's like a very hidden cost of like running an online business and a YouTube channel and whatever, is like I have like multiple email inboxes that I have to manage, right? So I have like my work email inbox that I have to manage, which is a challenge in and of itself. I have my personal email, and then I have my business email. And so like right now I have a bunch of unread emails I need to get through. So I'm gonna work on that tonight. I need to film that sponsored integration and get that submitted. And then I'm probably like just gonna eat the leftover sushi that I had from last night for dinner, and probably go to bed at like 9 p.m., which is what I did last night, because we have another long day tomorrow. So today's question is, if you, I know this is going to be a very narrow population of people, if you have successfully got your insurance to cover a breast reduction, how did you do that? So I am like high risk for breast cancer because I have both breast and ovarian cancer in my family. And I got the BRCA like gene testing done, and I don't have that gene. However, because of my family history, I have to get screened every 6 months. So I alternate 6 months, I get an MRI, mammogram, MRI, mammogram every 6 months. And so I had a consult with one of the breast surgeons earlier this year, and I was like, I really want to get a breast reduction, because at this point I've been on a GLP-1 for over a year. I've lost 60 pounds. I'm still not at like my goal weight or like ideal weight. However, one thing I have noticed is that like my body circumference has like decreased, right? But my like cup size has not. So I'm still like a triple D, like maybe even more than that. I don't know. I usually wear like bralettes or sports bras, so I don't even really know, like haven't been properly measured. But I've also had a lumpectomy in my right breast, which means that now they're like uneven. And it is just a thing where like they're too large for my body. And I went to them, and she's like, well, you can't have a preventative mastectomy because you're not high risk enough. And I was like, okay, well, what if at one of these screenings, like in the future, I get diagnosed with breast cancer? Oh, well, if you get diagnosed with breast cancer, then you can have whatever you want. Then I can do a preventative mastectomy. I haven't been diagnosed with that yet. And so they made me a referral with a plastic surgeon, which is in November, but they were very like unclear about what actually needs to happen so that my insurance would cover that. One thing I was reading is like if after you wear your bra, you have like indentations in your shoulders, then they'll pay for it. And then they were like, you need to go to a chiropractor, you need to go to physical therapy. Like basically you need to like voice all of these problems that you're having. And I don't really understand how to navigate that, because like I have always had large breasts. Like I had to start wearing a bra when I was in like 4th grade. And so like, even if I do have like bad posture or like neck and back problems, like I'm just so used to it now that it doesn't even really faze me. So I don't know. I guess I need to probably look into like my insurance and see like what is the coverage requirement for a reduction. I don't really want to go to a chiropractor because like I have gone to chiropractors like on and off in the past, and like no offense to people that enjoy getting treatment from a chiropractor, I've just never found it beneficial for me. So I don't even know how that would help me. I guess the other option is like physical therapy. Like what do I do? Just go in there and say like, oh, my boobs are really large and my neck hurts. Like I don't even know if my neck hurts. Like maybe my neck and my back is just like in a constant state of hurting and I don't know. Anyway, that's my question for today. So anyway, thanks for traveling along with me this week. If you want to get a meal planner, I still do have a 15% off coupon code, so I'll put that in the description box below. I did put a banner on the top of my shop, so if you order this week, I will ship that out on Saturday morning. Also, let me know what you thought about my conversation about the job market. I know lots of you had comments and questions about that in my last video, so thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!